$100 for every single person who told me that my culture is why I can't build a business, that people in my culture don't talk that way, that we are not that way. My culture in Canada, us Canadians, we always say we're sorry. Us Midwesterners, we always say we're sorry all the time. Us Nigerians, we always say we're sorry all the time. I'm sorry, but making excuses for insecurity because you're afraid of what other people think and giving the reins of your life and the decisions that you make to other people's opinions is not a way to grow and build your life. Here's the thing, for you to have the results that you want, if you're a business owner, you're gonna have to live the way that only 0.1% of people live, okay? And so that means acting in a way that goes against your culture. So many people are justifying their culture as to why they're incapable of the actual behaviors that grow and build a business, the actual behaviors that grow and create a profitable business. And so they won't go out there and they won't sell, like they won't ask for the sale. Well, it's rude in my culture to ask for the sale. I wasn't raised that way to be that, to approach people to do that. I wasn't raised that way to do that. People come to me. I'm not that aggressive. I'm not that up forefront. My culture is not that forefront. People who grow up like I did are not that forward. And I used to use these excuses. I used to say these excuses for so long. I'm not asking you to be a jerk to people. I'm not asking you to be violent or abusive or harm people or do something wrong. If you do something wrong, please apologize. But I see so many people living their life timid, with walking around with trepidation and fear, worried about being rude to other people. And what do they qualify as rude? They qualify as rude as asking for help. Like, I don't want to be rude by asking for help. I'm sorry, but what? Where in our minds, and I get it, your culture taught you, if you ask for help, don't go to figure it out yourself, and you ask before you go to figure it out, you're a rude, bad person, and we get punished in our culture for doing certain things like that. But you're going to have to break the habits that your culture raised you to do if you want to be able to grow and sustain and build a business. And this is what most people refuse to do. They allow how they were raised, how they grew up, how their family origin treated them to decide their entire destiny, what they're capable of doing. Well, I can't sell to people because I'm not that forward. I'm an introvert. Well, I can't talk to people that way because people who grow up like I did, the culture that I grew up in, we just don't do that sort of thing. Well, great. Then if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you will be broke. You will stay broke by operating from that mental framework, by operating from that mindset that you can't change, that these are immovable, unchangeable, non-negotiable behaviors that you have to do. Or I see people all the time, they're constantly apologizing. They're constantly saying, oh, I'm so sorry for being wrong. I'm so sorry for bothering you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like 99% of what they're apologizing for doesn't need to be apologized for at all. And yet they justify it by, well, it's just how I was raised. It's just my culture. My friends, if you're somebody that wants to build a business, a coaching business, a course business, a mentoring business, you're going to have to actually change the habits of how you've lived your life up to this moment in time. I see a lot of people, they think that the mental frameworks of how they've lived their life are going to sustain them to grow a business, and then they get frustrated, disappointed, and pissed off when nobody buys from them, when they're not making any money in their business, operating in behaviors that literally are anti-profitable, that are anti-capitalistic, that are anti what's actually going to bring in sales. And so literally, if you're doing behaviors that will make sure, that will guarantee that you won't get sales, if you're doing behavior like that your culture justified, will guarantee that nobody will buy from you. And then you're wondering, why am I struggling to make 6 figures? Why am I struggling to make 7 figures? Well, what if you just change your behavior? What if you just do what people that make 6 and 7 figures do? And you might say, well, I don't want to be like those brash, rude, salesy people. I don't want to look like that. I don't want people to think that I'm that way. I'm sorry, but get over yourself. Because the truth is this, if you got a message inside of you, if you got a message inside of you to impact people, if you want to reach the type of people that God's called you to impact, you got to get over yourself, and you got to stop letting your fear run your life. You got to stop letting your worry run your life. You got to stop being so afraid of pissing people off, upsetting people, angering people, making them think that you're a bad... Listen, people are going to think that you're a bad person. People are going to think that you're a terrible person just by you doing the behaviors that actually grow a business. You will have 5 to 10% of people that are appalled at your behavior, no matter how ethical, good, moral, upright, or have integrity that you have. And so if you're constantly living your life, walking around, trying to appease the opinions of other people, trying to make everybody around you happy, trying to please your culture, trying to please how you were raised, trying to please everybody in your life, the truth is you're going to upset people. You're going to do behaviors that are the opposite of how you were raised, how you were taught, and the standards of what you've been told you need to do in your life. If you refuse to do that, you are choosing to not have a profitable business. You could choose different in a second, but the truth is most people are terrified and afraid of the consequences of what might happen when they choose what actually produces results, what actually brings in sales in a business. And those that actually do choose, they make a ton of money, like my clients that make tens of millions of dollars in their coaching business. You can make tens of millions of dollars in a coaching business. Even if you don't want to make that, you can make multiple 6 figures in a coaching business. But it's going to take changing habits and behaviors that you've always done your whole life, that you've justified as, that's just how I am, and start to become bolder, start to become more courageous, start to step out there. Stop worrying about what everybody thinks of you. Stop living your life for the opinions of other people. Stop letting other people be the God, master, ruler, and controller over your life. And that will create the life and the business that you've always dreamed of. Now, here's the thing. If you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you're a mentor, and you want to know, how do I grow a business? How do I get more sales, Jeremiah? I got over 189 podcast episodes on my podcast over my website. Almost 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel that'll help you make more money than you ever imagined. So check those out. We'll talk soon.